36 companies, that's all it takes to generate half of the world's fossil fuel emissions. These companies, a mix of state-owned and private entities, are the driving force behind the climate crisis. In 2023 alone, they released over 20 billion tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. This shocking figure represents more than half of the world's total emissions from fossil fuels. The impact of these 36 companies is staggering. Their combined emissions are reshaping the planet, driving more extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and widespread ecological disruption. The consequences of their actions are felt by everyone, yet they continue to operate with relative impunity. The dominance of these companies highlights a fundamental problem. Our global economy is still heavily reliant on fossil fuels. Despite the urgent need to transition to clean energy, these companies continue to extract, produce, and profit from the very substances that are pushing our planet towards a climate precipice. Of the 36 companies responsible for half of global emissions, state-owned companies play a particularly dominant role. 16 of the top 20 emitters are government-controlled, highlighting the complex relationship between national interests, energy security, and climate action. Saudi Aramco, the Saudi Arabian oil giant, tops the list, accounting for a staggering 4.38% of global emissions. This makes the company's carbon footprint larger than that of many industrialized nations. Other major state-owned emitters include Coal India, China National Energy Investment Corporation, National Iranian Oil Company, and Jineng Holding Group. The dominance of state-owned companies presents a unique challenge. While private companies are driven by profit and shareholder value, state-owned enterprises often operate with a broader mandate, balancing economic growth with national energy security and social stability. This can make it difficult to hold them accountable for their environmental impact. The environmental impact of these companies is not limited to their current emissions. The 2023 Carbon Majors database, compiled by the climate research group Influence Map, provides a sobering historical perspective. The database tracks emissions from 1854 to 2023, revealing the long-term legacy of these companies. The data shows that these companies have collectively released a staggering 1,388 gigatons of carbon dioxide equivalent since 1854. This represents nearly 68% of all fossil fuel and cement emissions since the Industrial Revolution began. The historical data underscores the cumulative impact of these companies' actions. The database also reveals a worrying trend. Emissions from coal, the dirtiest fossil fuel, have been increasing since 2016. This is despite growing awareness of the urgent need to phase out coal and transition to cleaner energy sources. The data presented by Influence Map is more than just statistics. It is a stark reminder of the urgent need for action. We can no longer afford to allow a handful of companies to hold the planet hostage. Governments, businesses, and individuals must work together to break our dependence on fossil fuels and transition to a clean energy future. The first step is accountability. Governments must hold these companies responsible for their emissions, both past and present. This includes implementing stricter regulations, ending fossil fuel subsidies, and investing in renewable energy sources. We need strong policies that incentivize clean energy innovation and penalize polluters. The transition to a clean energy future will require a fundamental shift in our global economy. We need to move away from a system that prioritizes short-term profits over long-term sustainability. This will require a concerted effort from all sectors of society. The time for complacency is over. The future of our planet depends on the choices we make today.